Well, you might say our next guest was born to design. He was only 6 years old when he started creating clothes for dolls. And just 10 years later, at the age of 16, he entered and won Project Style, a local competition to benefit homelessness and disabilities. And joining me now is that designer, Jacob Shanbrom. Welcome to the show, Jacob.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Great to have you. Congratulations. What a big honor.
Thank you.
How does it feel?
It's really exciting. I went into it on a whim. I had no idea what it was going to be like. And this has surpassed my expectations so much. And it was really great to give back to
the community and to Liberty. And I got to tell you, I love the blouse that you made me. I am wearing one of his fashions, everyone, and it is exquisite.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about how long you've been designing, because you're only 16 years old. So when did you start?
I was about 6 years old, and I love dolls. So my mom would always buy me dolls, and it was really fun. And she's an interior designer, so I would get all of her old fabric samples, and I'd start making outfits for my dolls. And then, through trial and error, through a bunch of years, I started making people's clothes.
And what's that been like? I mean, where do you draw your inspiration from?
I'm with my mom all the time, so she's a huge inspiration of mine. And I just love the idea of someone walking down the street and catching everyone's attention, and then having an outfit that can speak so much without any words.
I like that. Now let's talk a little bit about your bar mitzvah, because you did a different twist on yours. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because we have some pictures now. Show us what we're looking at right now.
This was right after my fashion show. My brother's bar mitzvah was a really traditional black tie event, and he's a musician, so he had a segment. But I wanted something really different, so I went for a denim look for everyone, and I put on a 13-piece collection.
Wow.
And
That's amazing.
It was a really great night. That's me with my parents and my brother right after a very long night of partying.
Aww. So let's talk a little bit about, how long you've been sewing. I know you've been in the business a little while now, but how did you actually learn to sew? And who taught you?
I actually taught myself how to sew. I've been sewing for about 10 years. I got a needle and thread when I was 6, and through then I've just been working on learning how to cut and sew and drape. And it's been a really hard learning experience, but it's taught me so much.
I bet. And what's interesting is when I watched you at Liberty, because I had the opportunity to go to the event, and I watched your models walk down the runway, the fashion that you have, you have a great eye for what's hip, but also you're very individual about your fashions and how you create. What goes through your mind?
Well, it has to be something that I know I would love to wear, or it has to be something that my friends would come in and say, I want that. And it needs to be something that my mom would take off the dress for him without telling me and just wear it on a Saturday night.
Well, you're very close to your mom, and what's so wonderful about your relationship with her is it seems like you two are very close, and she's a big supporter.
Mm-hmm. She's great. We spend all of our time together. We're really best friends, and she's always been there for me with design, and she's a really great inspiration, and she also doesn't mind driving me around everywhere I have to go for fashion.
And she's here waiting over there in the audience there. We see Mom over there. Let's talk a little bit about what it was like working with Kara Jenks, because Kara Jenks was from Project Runway. She had great things to say about you. Was there a little bit of pressure competing and showcasing in front of her?
There really was. I've grown up with Project Runway, and it's been a really big inspiration for me, and it's something that I'd hopefully like to do in the future. And so to meet someone that I saw on TV and really see her in real life and talk to her and have a conversation, she's so down to earth and nice, and she's a really great inspiration because she's done what I want to do.
That's amazing. So we want to know how you actually juggle school life with a full-time designing life. How do you keep it all together?
It's a really hard juxtaposition. I do the best I can with both. I usually try to devote the school week to just solely to school, and then I spend the weekends and I do as much designing as I can fit in.
I tell you what, write this name down. I tell you, it's going to be all about Jacob. Let's talk about this wonderful collection that you have. I know you brought some models, so we want to kick things off. Let's start with model number 1, and we have Dima. Walk us through what we're looking at with Dima. What's she wearing?
This collection was shown this winter at Art Space, and she's wearing a mini dress in a metallic cotton. And my favorite part of the dress is the top. I did it in a sheer chiffon with a big collar, because I actually named my collection Fringe because I wear lots of scarves, and I love anything around the neck. I think the neck is a really beautiful part of anyone. So anything like scarves or necklaces, and consequently collars. So that was the really big inspiration behind that, and the sheer back, which I love.
That is beautiful. Thank you very much, Dima. Let's go to model number 2. We have, I think, Mitra. What is Mitra wearing? Which I love. This is
Mitra
very
wearing
cute.
Is a 2-piece outfit, And the thing I like about fashion is convertibility. I think it's really important to buy really great basics and then have things you can throw in. So this is actually a baby doll dress and a pencil skirt. And I love anything that you can wear 2 different ways, so that, you know, the baby doll can be worn by itself with a pair of pants, or the pencil skirt is a great basic. And I just love the idea of mixing fabrics. And then if you know, it's an investment piece. If you buy a piece like this, you wear it 2 different ways, and it's not so binding.
How old are you again?
60.
Like, hello. All right, look, thank you very much, Sarah Meacham. We'll go to model number 3. I think it's Corinne. So we'll have Corinne come forward.
Corinne is wearing another one of my convertible pieces. This is a mini dress, which is done in a cotton with silk shantung straps. And then on top of it is a mini skirt, which is done in a pleated satin, also with the same shantung. And it's the same idea of buying one outfit and then wearing it 2 or 3 different ways so that you really get your money's worth.
And Jacob, when you say it's convertible, meaning you can take the mini skirt off, is that right?
Yeah, the mini skirt is a completely separate piece, so that can be worn by itself. And the dress is just a really simple, really well-cut dress that is flattering on all shapes and figures.
Okay, I will take your word for that one on that one, Jacob. Thank you very much there. We'll move to our 4th model, the beautiful Paris. Come on forward, please. And what is she wearing?
Paris is wearing a dress. This is something that I made one night at about 2 in the morning. I was exhausted and I was on a caffeine-fueled mission. I go to a private school, so I've lived with a dress code for a very long time, and I love the idea of breaking fashion rules, or in my case, breaking, you know, school fashion rules. So this is the idea of mixing black and brown, which is usually frowned upon, and stripes and plaid, just to add something exciting. And then the same with the ruffle. It brings the eye up to the neck.
Do you tend to stick with things that are very trendy? Because I know we talk to a lot of different designers. I know ruffles are really in. Or do you kind of just, are you generally a rule breaker when it comes to fashion?
I love to break rules. I think adding a small element of trend is important, but it has to be timeless, because something that you can buy and wear for 2 months, it's worthless. So this is a dress that I've always loved the shape of, the trumpet shape.
And I gotta say, the black and the brown mix, that's ingenious, because you don't see people blending black and brown very often. And if Jacob says it's okay, it's okay.
It's usually frowned upon, and that's why I was so inspired to mix these 2 fabrics together.
Well, they look amazing. Thank you so very much there, Paris. We'll bring you the last model, because what's interesting is you have a line now at Tracy B, which is located right up the street from us on Chapel.
Tracy and I met while we were casting for the Project Style event, and she approached me about doing a small capsule line. And she came up with the original inspiration to use eco-friendly, repurposed men's button-downs. And then I went home and created the design, and I manufactured all of them myself. So at Tracy's store right now is a line, and they're all different. No 2 are the same, which adds another level of individuality. And some of them are done with long dips in the front and back, and some are shorter. And they're really fun, and they're done with a silk elastic waistband to add kind of a luxe feel to them.
So this is really a button-down?
It's a men's button-down shirt. My mom, again, has been taking me to all the different thrift shops, and we've been ransacking them, and this is what we've found. And they're really fun.
They are fun. Again, Tracy B is located here locally, but she carries all wonderful stuff. Thank you so very much, Jasmine. So let's talk about your future plans. I mean, what's going to happen? I mean, you're only 16, so where do you go from here?
I'm a sophomore in high school, so my original plans right now are just to finish school with passing grades. And after that, I'm going to go to design school in Manhattan. I'm really hoping to get in. And I want to start my own line.
Okay. And I will wear all of your clothes if you let me. I want you designing everything I wear. Look at his mom over there smiling. Jacob, the best of luck to you.
Thank you so much.